I mean this in all seriousness. This Eagles team, where we're at right now, in my opinion, is the beginning of the golden era of Philadelphia Eagles football. I have never seen a more complete team being built in my 48 years on this earth than I do right now.
Dallas still stinks.
Yo, by the way, Dingbat here. I hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're hanging in there. So the Eagles are entering the golden era of football. I really, truly believe it. This is going to be the Eagles' golden era the next 10 to 15 years. We are lucky enough to see it. And for you young guys, there is a lot that you are never going to have to suffer through that some of us older guys have, like the Fog Bowl. But we're going to get into that in a second. But before we do that, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, make sure you hit that like button. More importantly, make sure you subscribe to the most censored, the most throttled pause Eagles content creator in all of the internet. And if you've been subscribed for a while, I just want to thank you so much for the support you give to me. It truly, truly means a lot. Now, I want to talk about this, and this is going to be a video where it's going to be like kind of like a rant, maybe a little bit of a rant, but it's going to come from the heart, and it's going to basically tell you how I've been feeling about the Eagles this off season. I did a video for my channel members, and in the video I was talking about how I get a lot of questions lately, about the Eagles now with the Eagles of the past, and shout out to Bird Gang. I was on his channel a few days ago, and we were talking about the Eagles defense, and he had said something about, last year, was the best Eagles defense in Eagles history. And I said, I don't think that. I think it was in 1991. I thought that was the Eagles defense, the best Eagles defense I've ever seen. Not only would I say that's the best Eagles defense I've ever seen, but that was the best defensive team I've ever seen, most dominant. They just didn't get the Super Bowl, which would have led to the recognition that I think that they still deserve today. But it got me thinking, and older Eagle fans will be able to kind of understand, I think, where I'm coming from. I wasn't around, when they won NFL championships before the Super Bowl era, which some people say, oh, those don't count because it's not Super Bowl. I don't buy that at all. That was the highest level at which you could win, and they did it. They definitely deserve that. I would never take that away from the Eagles or those players that played back in the days. I just think that's disrespectful, to be honest with you. Those guys went out and did what they did. But I wasn't there for that era. I didn't start watching the Eagles until, I was watching the Eagles at birth, but, where I really could remember was, and my real first vivid memory of the Eagles world that emotionally attached me to the Philadelphia Eagles was when Dick Vermeil was retiring, and he was leaving, and he was burnt out, and he was at a press conference, and he was crying. Now, I was an Eagle fan. My parents were Eagle fans. My family was all Eagle fans. And I remember watching that press conference, and that was the first time it went from, I like the Eagles because my family and my dad likes the Eagles, to an emotional attachment to that team, okay? And from that point on, I've been watching the Eagles. And early on in my Eagles years, it wasn't pretty. We stunk. I mean, Vermeil left, Marion Campbell came in, and really there was only two good players. I mean, I'm sure there were more, there were better players than that, but there was only two guys that I really liked or knew. Mike Quick and Roynell Young. Those were two guys that I really liked. And then Buddy Ryan came. And when Buddy Ryan came, he brought an attitude that just fit the city so well, right? And he built one of the greatest defenses I've ever seen. Most dominant, I mean, we could talk about the Eagles' record in sacks last year. It was a great accomplishment, and they did a hell of a job. But I still wouldn't put them past that old defensive line with Reggie White, Jerome Brown, Clyde Simmons, Mike Pitts with Mike Golick rotating in. I wouldn't put it above that. Those guys were nasty. And, this league today is different than that league then. They pass a lot more today in today's NFL, which means you get a lot more chances to get to the quarterback. I would say half that back then, and they still dominated. They went I think they had 40-something straight games without a 100-yard rusher when you were in an era of a lot of running, where they ran a lot more. So, it was one of the most amazing defenses, amazing times to be an Eagle fan. It was a great time to be influenced by them. However, if we're being honest, they had great elements to their team, right? They had a fantastic Hall of Fame type defense as far as I'm concerned, and they had an amazing quarterback that nobody had seen anything like, and he looked like he was about to take that team to the Super Bowl, and then he got hurt. But when you took Randall Cunningham off that team, they didn't have a good offensive line. They didn't have a good running back. They had some decent wide receivers, and they had a really good tight end in Keith Jackson. So they didn't have the complete team that you needed to win a Super Bowl. And then when they seemed like they did, Cunningham got hurt. And then you go into the Ray Rhodes years, you had no quarterback. And then Andy Reid comes around. And, by that time, I hadn't seen the Eagles ever get out of the second round of the playoffs. I only seen them play one second-round playoff game versus New Orleans, where they won, and that was after Jerome Brown's tragic death. But besides that, I hadn't seen anything. Then Andy Reid comes in, and he changes the culture. There's no question about it. And then the Eagles start going to NFC Championship game after NFC Championship game after NFC Championship game, and then they lose the Super Bowl. But they had a pretty good defense, and they had a pretty good offense. However, they didn't have the weapons that you needed. They had Westbrook, but they didn't have anything else. And they waited too long to pull the trigger to get a weapon that would have gotten them over the hump, and they kind of blew their shot. And then you go from that era to when, McNabb leaves and you have Vic, but Vic shows a lot of talent, but he's starting to get older, getting hurt. They just don't have it. Then Chip Dip Kelly comes, and then he actually had a really good base, and he blows it up. He trades McCoy, he cuts Deshaun Jackson. It is just frustrating after frustrating after frustrating event. And then you start to see elements of today's Eagles team, right? You see them, Howie Roseman makes a bunch of moves, gets Carson Wentz. They eventually get their first Super Bowl. Absolutely fantastic. They get the first Super Bowl, and then we're kind of up and down. If we're being honest, we're kind of up and down after that, right? Transition. And then we come to now, okay? And now, and I'm sorry if it took so long to get here, but I just want to explain where I'm coming from with this, because like I said, this is a little bit of a rant, and this is coming from the heart. I've watched a lot of Eagles football. I've seen elements that have been fantastic and great, but I have never seen a Eagles team, in my opinion, that I think is as complete as what we have right now. What we built right now. Usually, when you look at some of these teams, heavy on the offense, heavy on the defense, good offensive line, good defensive line, but always seem to be missing something. There's just always that one thing that we need to get us over the hump. Now, when you look at this team, I have never seen an Eagles team that has a foundation on offense with weapons, with a quarterback like Jalen Hurts, with one of the best offensive lines, with a running back, even though they may not have one guy who's a Pro Bowl type running back. If you look at the depth and who they got, absolutely great running back group. I have never seen that combined with a defense where you have foundational pieces like Jacoby Dean, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith. Those were all from the same guys within the last 2 years of the draft. Okay? So what I'm saying is this team foundationally speaking is, in my opinion, the best built team I've ever seen the Eagles have in my whole life. They're the best built team. And I think we are entering the golden years of Eagles football. It is absolutely incredible to me what we've done and what we're doing. Yes, we're going to have some older guys that we're going to have to replace. Yes, we are. We had the same issue with Javon Hargrave. Well, what are we going to do to replace Javon Hargrave? Oh, we'll get Jalen Carter. You know what I mean? It's what are you gonna do for Jason Kelsey? Oh, we got Cam Jurgens. We didn't have a left guard. All of a sudden we get Landon Dickerson. All of a sudden now you have the best left guard in football. Jordan Mailata. I mean, when you look at this, and then you got Devontae Smith. I mean, to me, Devontae Smith, you better start fitting this man. And I don't care. I'm gonna say this. I don't care because I said this before the draft. I'm gonna say this now. The man you could already start fitting him for his gold jacket. I was saying that before they drafted him, before I knew he was even an Eagle. I think Devontae Smith is that good. He's that talented. Okay? This is the best built Eagles team I've seen. From offense to defense. It's not like we have this huge glaring hole that we can't just seem to fix so we can win. This is complete, man. Howie Roseman has done a complete job. And to me, the only thing that we need to go out and do is continue it. Do you realize that if these guys pan out, you're talking a team that's going to dominate for years and years. I'm not just saying it, I'm not joking. Okay? If Jordan Davis lives up to his first round billing, and then Jalen Carter lives up to his first round building. Okay, you may have the greatest defensive tackle tandem that the Philadelphia Eagles ever had in their history. You may have one of the greatest defensive tackle tandems that you've ever seen in the NFL. It's that level. And then if you start saying things like, well, if Nolan Smith pans out, you're talking. We're talking extreme talent. And yes, you're going to have guys who get older and go, and you're going to have to replace. But that's where Howie Roseman comes in and the aggressiveness he shows. The Eagles are a team that when they're aggressive, and I'm talking about the front office now, when they're aggressive, they're successful. Okay, that's why I laugh at teams like the Dallas Cowboys who sit back and allow the Eagles to do what they've done and try not to counter or feel that you have to. If you're not aggressive and you can't keep up with the Eagles, you're going to have a problem. I've watched a lot of football. A lot of you guys that watch these videos have watched a lot of football. You have been through the horrible things that I've been through. You saw Cunningham get hurt early that first week, Bryce Pop, right? You saw the Fog Bowl. Well, we know nobody saw the Fog Bowl, but we heard it. We remember that Tampa Bay game to close the vet. I mean, we've gone through a lot of crap. And see, that's what I always think, especially, I think the younger Cowboy fans are going to have to learn this now. But the older Cowboy fans, they never had to learn this. Okay, it's easy to be a good fan. It's easy to be a great fan and cheer on your team when good things are happening, when everything's going good. But do it when your team stinks, year in, year out. Do it when your team disappoints you, when something happens and they choke. Do it at the worst times. Stay with that team. Be with that team. Cheer that team. Support that team. Nobody has done that more than Eagle fans. Eagle fans, for a lot of years, we went through a lot of crap, and we keep coming back. We keep believing in that team. The Eagles, it's not a oh, this is my favorite team. Yes. Eagles are passed down on the generations. All right, they're passed down in your DNA. It's like a family heirloom. Okay. My father's father was an Eagle fan. My father's an Eagle fan. I'm an Eagle fan. My uncles are Eagle fans. My aunts are Eagle fans. My family has season tickets. People go, it's passed on. My kids, they weren't born in Philly. They didn't grow up in the same area, but they're Eagle fans. It's passed down. It's a family thing. And that's special because we've gone through some of the worst times and worst things, but we keep coming back. Now, us Eagle fans are going, especially us older guys, we're going into the golden era. We are going into an era which we have never seen. We've only dreamed of this. We've only watched teams like the Niners did it. Even Dallas did it in the 90s. Even the Giants. All these teams we watched have their golden era of football. This is our time. This is our time. Okay? We've gone through the bad times and stuck with this team. Hell, enjoy every second of this, every moment of this, because we're going through the good times. We're going through the good times right now, and we deserve it. We deserve it. I deserve it. You deserve it, because we suffered and we stuck with this team, and now it's our time. So you better, Dan, you better I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm getting all emotional, but I'm telling you what. Oh, Philly 500 is going to talk crap. Oh, Philly 500 is too excited about his team. He gets too animated about his team. He's too excited. You're damn right. You know what I've been through to get to this point? I'm going to enjoy every second of it. Every second of it. You ain't taking it away. This is our time, and we're coming for you. And I just felt I had to say that today. I had to say that. This is the golden era of Eagles football, man. And we deserve it. And I'm going to live every second. I'm going to enjoy every second. I'm going to talk that crap. I'm going to be it. I'm going to be all about it, because I've gone through the bad times. It's the good times now. Let it roll. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's how we vision. We're all just living in it. So just to let you guys know, the next time you see me, I'll probably be on the East Coast. I'm going to be at the beach for a week, headed there. After this video or during this video, I'll probably be on my way. But next time you see me, I'm on the East Coast and it's beach time. Let's get it going. Denzel Washington out.